Welcome to the Cardiac MR Learner Series, a unique video tutorial program under the aegis of Indian Association of Cardiac Imaging. This program is focused on beginners and intermediate images with learning happening through short sessions and case-based discussions. We are grateful to experts from different parts of India who have helped us in putting this program together. Please do feel free to give us your feedback so we can continually improve such training opportunities. This session is brought to us by Dr. Vishnu Ravila, who is a consultant radiologist and cardiovascular imaging lead in Care Hospitals, High Tech City, Hyderabad. His expertise is in cardiac imaging and image-guided intervention planning for electrophysiology studies. He is certified by the Society of Cardiac MR, CVCTA, and IACI, and has a publication in Indian Heart Journal. He has given multiple lectures at state and national level conferences and has conducted workshops on cardiac MR and cardiac CT for doctors. He is a trainer for DNB radiodiagnosis and has conducted multiple sessions for them. He is also an executive committee member of the Indian Association of Cardiac Imaging.
In this video, we will discuss about various software options available for analyzing cardiac MRI data. Various OEM softwares which are provided by the scanner manufacturers like Siemens, GE, or Philips, and then we'll discuss about vendor neutral software, namely Circle CVI42, as well as we'll look at various free tools which are available as plugins for Osirix based viewers like Osirix Lite, Osirix MD, or Horus, which can be used on Mac. We also discuss how a research tool, namely Segment, can be used to analyze the CMR data. First, we will have a look at Philips IntelliSpace portal, which is provided by the Philips as original equipment manufacturer software. This has similar features which can be found in software supplied by Siemens as well as GE. This is the initial view. Once you load the patient data in the MR cardiac viewer, it will list out all the various sequences which you have acquired during the scan. The first important step is to check whether each and every scanner sequence has been appropriately labeled by the type of the scan as well as orientation of the scan. Once that is done, we have various viewing protocols available as enumerated here, which will allow us to look at stress as well as rest perfusion together, as well as you can have a look at the Cine as well as LG sequences next to each other. Similarly, you can look at Cine sequences, Perfusion as well as LG sequences together, which is very important. Similarly, different views can also be loaded together to have a detailed analysis. Once that is done, you can choose the Cine sequence and start the LV function analysis. It is a semi-automatic LV analysis. By just showing apex and base, it calculates the contours and gives us the volumes. Whereas for RV, we have to do the contouring manually. There is one more option of LG quantification, that is scar button quantification. It is also pretty standard, and it also has a visual AHS scoring system where you can grade the wall motion abnormality as well as the extent of the scarring on a bullseye plot. On a Philips system, the flow analysis package is usually a separate one called QFlow, where you have to load your phase contrast studies, and then just by click of a button, it will segment the vessel of interest very nicely across all the cardiac phases. And then it also has option of background correction to give you the flow values. Coming to the T1 analysis module, if you have a license for T1 analysis, then you have access to this module. It has the option of motion correction. Whenever you find there is some movement artifact in the acquired T1 mapping sequence, you can always apply motion correction to correct that motion so that your T1 calculation will be more accurate. It has ROI based as well as AHA segment based quantification of T1 mapping. In this image example, we can see the T1 quantification has been done according to AHA 16 segments, where basal, mid, and apical slices have been segmented into different sectors, and their corresponding myocardial T1 values have been superimposed in. What are the advantages of this OEM supplied software? First of all, they come at a cheaper cost because the cost is included with the scanner most of the times. With very marginal amount, we can get a very good package. We have a good support system in form of application specialists who are there to train us, to teach us how to use the software properly, which is very important. That's the reason why they are very easy to learn and easy to use. And most of these, they have server client implementation in case of very large radiology departments, where it becomes very important. There are only very few disadvantages, mostly will relate to the workflow, which are not deal breakers. That brings us to the question of vendor neutral software. The example which I'll be showing will be Circle CVA, or CVA 42 is the name of the software. Let us see in brief how the interface looks on Circle CVA. Once you load the case in the viewer, you will have this overview of all the sequences present in that particular study. After that, you can choose the viewer option, where you can freely drag and drop whichever sequence you want to visualize, so that you can evaluate the wall motion as well as stress and LGE in the same interface. Then you have the important function of automatic LV and RV volume calculation. This software has a artificial intelligence or machine learning based automatic quantification of the LV and RV volumes, which is quite robust. As you can see in this example, it has nicely identified all the phases and contours correctly at the first attempt itself with just a single button click. Then you have the option of doing LGE quantification, which has various thresholding options as shown in this drop down menu. Coming to the quantification of flows in the vessels, it has a very nice module where you can overlay the color information so that you can identify the direction of the flow easily, and it also gives an option to quantify QP and QS in an automatic fashion if you label the arteries correctly. One more important unique feature of this software is, whenever you are trying to evaluate for myocardial edema based on the skeletal muscle intensity, it has an option to overlay this color map on the myocardium, and you can easily identify the areas which are showing signal intensity that are twice that of this skeletal muscle, which are highlighted as blue as shown in this color scale. This is a very nice feature to identify areas of myocardial edema, and it is very unique in this software. Similarly, it also has a scar quantification, which I have shown in the earlier video, and it also has option to calculate the myocardium at risk based on the data derived from the still images in the same patient. This is also very nice feature available in this software. Coming to modules where parametric mapping can be done, this is an example of how a T2 star mapping analysis can be done. Just if you draw a ROI in the myocardium, it gives us how the curve is fitting in that ROI, as well as it will straight away give us the total T2 star value in that slice as well as in the particular ROI drawn there. Similarly, T2 analysis can also be done for myocarditis. If once you load the T2 mapping sequence, you can check for the quality of acquisition by checking the curve fitting, and just drawing ROI will give you the T2 value in that region of interest. Similarly, you can generate AHA plots, bullseye plot with the T2 values in each sector overlaid in the corresponding sector. Similarly, T1 and ECV analysis can also be done. You have to load the pre-contrast native T1 as well as post-contrast T1 values. You can check the quality of your acquisition by checking the curve fitting here, and there's an error map showing how good is the curve fitting. And you can generate bullseye plots with the T1 values of the individual sectors overlaid on the bullseye plot image, and you can generate ECV maps as well, which will show you the sector-wise ECV values as well. Coming to perfusion analysis, it has two options. You can either visually check for perfusion defects, or you can use a semi-quantitative method where you can check the perfusion defects in this graphical format, where it will be more easier for you to analyze the perfusion defects. It also has an important strain analysis package, and this can be used in long axis views as well as short axis views. And combining both the short and long axis views, you can also measure the 3D strain of the LV as well as RV. This is one more unique feature available in this software. This circle software has a very good reporting module. Even while you are doing your LV analysis, you can generate the sector plots like this, and they can be added to the report then and there itself. It also has an option to overlay the coronary artery territories in the bullseye plot, and you can export the volume curves, the 17 segment AHA bullseye plots showing our wall motion abnormality as well as the extent of LGE scarring. It will also export uh, volumetric analysis data like end diastolic volume, end systolic volume, EF, and all these features are incorporated into the very good reporting module. So, what are the advantages of a vendor neutral software like Circle CEA? You have a very good and robust industry leading segmentation algorithm for LV and RV analysis in means of excellent AI tools. You have unique tools like threshold based segmentation, which makes your life of drawing endocardial contours very easy. And then it also has comprehensive analysis including strain, perfusion quantification, and it handles data from any of the three major MR manufacturers, being vendor neutral software. Coming to disadvantage, since it is not supplied by your scanner company, uh, you have to spend a few lakhs to acquire this software. Then coming to various OSRIX or Horus based plugins which are available for the cardiac MRI analysis. So coming to the basic plugin which is available in OSRIX software called Bullseye plugin. So it is nothing but you can manually make these bullseye diagrams for wall motion abnormality, LGE, as well as thickening or thinning of the LV myocardium. So once you load the data, you can go to the plugin menu and then choose the bullseye plot from the image filters, choose the wall motion, and then based on the wall motion abnormality, score them. Just a click of the button, you can change the color as well as scoring like akinesia, hypokinesia, or dyskinesia. Once you are done analyzing all the slices, your bullseye plot is ready, which can be exported as a PDF or into the DICOM database in the OSRIX software. Coming to the next important plugin for the OSRIX, it is called MRHeart. It is written by a scientist called Conrad, and its source code is published in GAT Hub. Hence, it is freely available for download and using on our CMR data. How you can actually use this plugin? You choose the open the stack which you want to process, and then go to the plugin menu, and in the plugin menu you can find it in the database plugins called MRHeart. You click it. Once you click it, you have this workflow launched, wherein you have to choose the contour which you are going to draw in the systole as well as diastole. End systole and diastole contouring is enough for this software to calculate the volumes. Once you are done with contouring the LV endocardium as well as epicardium in the diastole and systole, make sure that the contouring is correct and make any changes if needed. And then you have to push the calculate button, and you can also give the BSA value so that you can also get the index values. Same thing can also be done for RV. Coming to LGE or scar quantification as well as T1 and T2 mapping. For this, we use a plugin called CMR segment tools. So it works equally well with Osirix MD, Osirix Lite or Horus software. So this is a screenshot from the poster presentation at one of the conferences, 17th annual CMR scientific sessions, where they showcase this tool as being very good and robust tool. Let us see how this software works. So you load the LG sequence in Osirix. Once you load it, go to the plugins and ROI tools, and then choose CMR Sec Tools as the option. It launches an interface where you can semi-automatically draw the contours and then correct the contours of the LV, endocardium and epicardium. You do that in each and every slice of the short axis stack. Once you are done, you are asked to select a remote myocardium, which is a normal myocardium anywhere that doesn't show any scar. Once you do that, the scarred myocardium is highlighted in pink, and the entire stack based scar percentage is depicted in this tabular column. The same CMR Sec tools can also be used for T1 mapping for quantification of the T1 values. We will show the workflow here. Again, you load the T1 mapping sequence. Once you load it, you choose the plugin from the ROI tools, draw the epicardial endocardial contour. Once you do it, you automatically have 6 sectors prescribed, which are standard AHA segments, and you get sector-wise myocardial T1 values as well as total slice-based T1 myocardial values shown in the table here. So, what are the advantages of these Horus or Osirix plugins? The software is free, especially if you are using Horus, and the plugins are absolutely free. There is no cost included apart from your commitment that you will code this in references if you are using many publications. They are simple, easy to learn and straightforward to use. Disadvantages being they are not FDA cleared, since if you are staying in India and using it in India, that should not be an issue. There is no training available whatsoever. You have to learn on your own from small tutorials available in the web pages which I showed you. And you should obtain registration from authors for certain plugins like CMR Sec Tools. Now this will be the last software which I will be reviewing, namely the segment released by MedVisio company. In this video, we will see the basic overview of the software. Since this is a research only version, you only have option of importing from the hard disk. Once you load the DICOM file from the hard disk, you can view different views side by side, as well as different sequences like short axis CNE and short axis LG side by side for visual analysis. You can also have an option of within the short axis as a montage view. Coming to the function module, the function module in segment software is a fully automated. It is very straightforward to use. Just select automatic LV analysis, crop the image area to the LV, just click the basal slice and the apical slice, and then select the center of the LV cavity and then start the segmentation. Once with the push of a button, you get automatically contoured LV, epicardium and endocardium. This segment software also has a very good module for scar quantification, which is pretty robust and reproducible. Here you can see that in work. You can also generate bullseye plots showing the transmurality of the scar. This software also has a very good flow analysis package for our phase contrast studies. It has option of automatic tracking of the vessel in the entire cardiac cycle, and it gives us volume curves as well as different values which are typically expected from a CMR analysis package. This segment software also has a comprehensive T1 analysis package where you can draw the contours, give the hematocrit value to generate ECV maps as well. So this also has a manual perfusion analysis where you can load stress, rest and LG sequences one below the another. and then you can score the stress as showing normal perfusion, partial defect of perfusion, full defect of perfusion. This particular software, MedVisor by Segment, is a very good tool for doing cardiac MRI analysis. It can be used on both Windows as well as Mac systems. On Mac systems, you have to run it in a virtual machine. It has many sophisticated algorithms for scar quantification as well as strain analysis. It also can interface with other open source projects like 4Flow for 4D PCMRI analysis. But the main disadvantage with this software is it is a very difficult software to learn, and it has a very long learning curve. The reason for that being we don't have freely available resources to train on this software. So in conclusion, in this video we have discussed a lot of tools which are available for CMR, both free and paid, and we have seen that free options are equally good provided you are willing to spend time to learn them, to use them properly. And the important message will be, don't let the lack of analysis software stop you from doing cardiac MRI at your place. You have freely available tools which are easy to learn and implement in your workflow so that you can start doing cardiac MRI at your place. You can also do accurate basic as well as advanced processing, including Q flows, scar quantification, and parametric mapping with these available tools as well. Thank you.